Most home service businesses believe they already fixed missed calls. They answer the phone. They return voicemails. They respond to messages. So when missed calls come up, owners think, that's not us anymore. And in many cases, they are partially right. The phone does get answered more often. But here is the problem. Fixing missed calls and fixing lead response are not the same thing. Most businesses solve the first symptom, not the system behind it, and that is why jobs are still being lost. When owners say, we fixed missed calls, this is usually what they mean. Someone answers the phone most of the time. Voicemails get returned. Texts get sent back. If a lead reaches the business, someone eventually responds. And that feels like the problem is solved. But response is not the same thing as coverage. Response depends on people. Coverage depends on systems. Response happens when someone is available. Coverage exists even when no one is. Most businesses improved response. Very few installed coverage. And that gap is where jobs are still being lost. Here is why that difference matters so much. Response only works when conditions are perfect. When someone is at their desk, when the phone is nearby, when nothing else is pulling attention away. Coverage doesn't care about conditions. It exists during meetings, during jobs, after hours, on weekends, during busy seasons when volume spikes. Response asks people to remember. Coverage removes memory from the equation, and most businesses never make that shift. They improve effort, but effort does not scale. Here's where coverage actually breaks. Not during slow periods, during busy ones. Coverage breaks when the phone rings while someone is already on a job. It breaks when calls come in back to back. It breaks after hours and on weekends. It breaks when volume spikes and attention is split. In those moments, response depends on memory. Someone has to notice the missed call. Someone has to remember to follow up. Someone has to do it at the right time. And even good teams miss things when pressure is high. That is not failure. That is reality. Which is why fixing missed calls with effort alone never holds. Here is the part most owners underestimate. Even disciplined teams break under volume. Not because they stop caring, but because attention is finite. When calls stack up, people prioritize what is in front of them. The customer they are with, the job they are on. The problem that feels most urgent right now. Missed calls do not feel urgent. They feel invisible. So follow-up gets delayed. Callbacks slip. Messages sit longer than intended. And by the time someone responds, the moment has passed. This is why coverage cannot depend on attention. Here is why this problem is so hard to see. Most businesses measure what happened after contact was made. Calls that were answered, leads that were booked, jobs that were completed. Those numbers look good. So the assumption becomes, we fixed it. But those numbers only tell part of the story. They show what made it through. They do not show what tried to reach you and failed. Missed calls do not show up as losses. They disappear. So reports stay clean. Dashboards look healthy, and confidence stays high, even while opportunity is still leaking out. Here is why this false confidence feels so convincing. Most dashboards are built to track outcomes, not attempts. They show you what converted, what booked, what closed, but they do not show you what never connected. A missed call does not fail a metric. It simply never enters the system. So the business believes it is performing well, because the data only reflects success, not loss. And when loss is invisible, confidence grows, even when the problem has not been solved. Here is why this problem stays unfixed for so long. Partial fixes feel good. They reduce pain. They improve outcomes. And improvement often feels like completion. The phone rings less. Fewer complaints come in. The schedule stays full. So the business moves on. Owners stop paying attention because the urgency is gone. But improvement is not the same thing as resolution. The system still depends on people noticing, remembering, reacting at the right time. And under pressure, that dependency always reappears, which is why jobs are still being lost even after things feel fixed. Here is what usually happens next. The business gets busy again, volume increases, schedules tighten, and the same pressure returns. Now the partial fix is tested. Calls get missed again. Follow-up slows down. Messages wait longer than they should. Not because the fix was bad, but because it was incomplete. Partial fixes work when conditions are calm. They fail when conditions are real. And most businesses never realize they slip backward because the decline is gradual. This is why so many businesses believe they fixed missed calls. Things improved. The phone gets answered more often. Response feels better. But improvement is not the same thing as coverage. Coverage does not depend on people. It does not fade when things get busy. It does not break under pressure. And until coverage exists, jobs will continue to slip through quietly. In the next video, we are going to talk about why hiring more people does not fix this problem, and often makes it worse.